The classic opening gambit, betrayal. You can always tell someone's day is about to get cosmically worse when the font itself is red and screaming. Meet the welcome wagon, or more accurately, the "we're gonna ruin your life" committee. Our blonde friend in the middle has the unnerving smile of a man who names his porcelain dolls after his victims. And rounding out the group, we have the "I'm only helping you because it serves my own mysterious, probably nefarious purposes" archetype. A true classic. You'll thank her now and curse her name later. Oh look, Blondie brought friends. Judging by the sheer amount of pointy hardware on display, I'm guessing they aren't here to start a book club. And just like that, our protagonist is unprotagonized. A dramatic flash of light, and he's gone. Hope you weren't attached. Well, that escalated. We've gone from personal betrayal to a global flash freeze event in 5 panels flat. The writers are clearly just throwing darts at a board of apocalyptic scenarios. And now for something completely different. A grizzled survivor staring into the abyss, contemplating the futility of it all. He's seen things. Mostly ice, I'm guessing. It's our hero. Or a new hero. Maybe the old one reincarnated? Who knows? Anyway, he's got some serious steampunk goggles and a front row seat to the end of the world. Enjoy the view. All suited up and ready to face a world that wants him dead from hypothermia. You can see the gears turning. He's not just looking, he's calculating. Smart, but probably futile. And now for the 5 most dangerous words in fiction. It should be safe here. Oh honey, you've just personally invited disaster to dinner. And right on cue, the safe ice decides it identifies as a trapdoor. Our hero is about to take an unscheduled field trip to the bottom of this popsicle stand. He clings on for dear life, having a profound moment of clarity. My life, he thinks, is as fragile as this ridiculously thin sheet of ice I trusted. Deep. He's now attempting to reason with the ice. A bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off. Spoiler, it will not. The ice shockingly did not listen. Our hero is now taking a polar plunge, his expression a perfect blend of surprise and regret. Oh, he's made a friend. A big, spiky, and profoundly unhappy-looking friend. I don't think it wants to braid his hair. Meanwhile, our favorite blonde backstabber is back smirking from on high. That's the look of a man who just remembered he left the oven on, but it was at his enemy's house. Back in the water, things have gotten worse. Our hero has found the source of all those spikes. A creature with more eyes than a focus group and the dental plan of a nightmare. Here is in all its glory, a multilimbed hornet et blankrusted monstrosity. It's the kind of thing you see right before you have a fatal stress-induced aneurysm. And our hero's eyes go full anime power-up mode. You know the rules. Glowing eyes mean it's either time for a signature move or a high-pitched scream. Let's shoot for both. Mid-plummet, he realizes his luck has officially run out. The resignation on his face is palpable. He's had it with this whole surviving nonsense. He's now making a hasty retreat, riding a magical construct that is definitely 100% not a weapon of mass destruction. It's just a pointy escape vehicle. The existential crisis continues mid-flight. This is a catastrophe he thinks as a building-sized ice shard narrowly misses him. You don't say. And the monster's back. It has a face only a mother could love, and frankly, I'm not even sure about her. Those horns are just a cry for help. The beast unleashes its special attack, Aggressive Winter. It's a hailstorm of jagged eyes that says I hate you and everything you stand for. Our hero, meanwhile, is just clutching his little toothy good luck charm, looking mildly inconvenienced by the icy apocalypse unfolding around him. Because things weren't chaotic enough, the ceiling has now decided to get involved. His face says it all. A cave-in? Really? That feels a bit derivative. The glowy eyes are back, but this time, they're paired with a look of pure, unadulterated rage. He's done being a victim. It's payback time. He launches himself forward like a human torpedo, turning this disaster into his own personal action movie. His grand plan culminates in a majestic, if completely unplanned dive into the water. The landing was a 0, but the dramatic flair? A perfect 10. Elsewhere, a colossal foot makes its debut accompanied by a cheerful little blue slime. This is what we in the business call tonal whiplash. Behold, a magnificent four-eyed, gelatinous overlord. It radiates an aura that says I've seen the dawn of time and I am deeply disappointed in your life choices. And there is a giant eye witnessing a crash? Or maybe just our slime god tripping over a mountain. It's hard to tell. Our hero's face reappears, sporting the wide-eyed, gritted teeth smile of a man who just stepped on a Lego in the dark. But the dark is a frozen hellscape, and the Lego is an elder god. Still rocking his Arctic chic, he's questioning reality. A perfectly normal reaction to finding yourself at the bottom of the world playing pinball with monsters. And now a moment of quiet contemplation. Or maybe he just passed out. Either way, that glowing tattoo on his arm is a neat new accessory. Probably not ominous at all. Having had quite enough of this icy wilderness retreat, he's decided on a new career path, becoming a magus. Because if you can't beat the apocalypse, you might as well learn magic. And we're back to civilization, or what's left of it. Towering skyscrapers now share the skyline with equally towering ice spikes. It's a bold architectural choice. Hold on, what's this? Someone stirring a mysterious glowing cauldron in a dark hole? That's either some next-level soup, or they're brewing up another apocalypse for next season. Our hero descends into that very hole, pondering how long it's been. Is it a well? A sewer? A budget-friendly subway tunnel? And he's found them. The last remnants of humanity enjoying a delightful indoor camping experience. The ambience is desperation chic. Meet the locals. That elder's face has seen it all and is deeply, deeply unimpressed. This is not a happy camp. Our hero strolls in musing on human nature in a disaster. What will they do? Probably something petty, selfish, and deeply entertaining for us. Ah, and here he is without the helmet. Our now confirmed pink-haired protagonist is on a mission. His usual bullies are gone, and he's off to check on someone. Home sweet doom. He pounds on door 409. The tension is palpable. The ominous sound effects are not helping. Let him in. The door flies open to reveal an equally startled girl with some seriously impressive hair buns. It's either a touching reunion or the pilot for a very awkward post-apocalyptic sitcom. And we have a hug. Her motive is relief. My motive is to watch this wholesome moment inevitably get complicated. And here's the complication. She immediately drops a bombshell asking why he cared more about a lock than her. The hiss at the end is just chef's kiss. Pure drama. His response to this emotional minefield? He whips out a Snickers. Because in the face of annihilation and relationship drama, chocolate is the only logical answer. Her reaction is priceless. She was expecting a key, an apology, a grand romantic gesture. She got nougat. Her brain has officially short-circuited. And it worked. The Snickers has healed all wounds. He is now officially the best. Let this be a lesson to us all. There is no problem that cannot be solved with strategically applied confectionery. Our hero apparently moonlighting as a pack mule grills pigtails about her near-death experience. She claims she almost became monster kibble for just one of something. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Slowly. And here we see the contents of his ridiculously oversized backpack. He's not packing supplies. He's meticulously curating his post-apocalyptic snack collection. A man of culture. Behold the prize she almost died for, a single bar of chocolate. Her expression screams, worth it. And that little snap is the sound of pure, unadulterated bliss in a world gone mad. Later by the fire, our hero laments his empty stomach, having generously given away his last 5-star meal. Days without real food. A tough break, but at least the ambience is a solid 10. Pigtails clutches their last bag of rations like it's a winning lottery ticket made of sadness and asks if they really have to eat them. Judging by the look of those seeds, I'd say it's less of a meal and more of a cry for help. Our resident farmer in spirit explains the grim math. Eat the seeds now, and there's no farm later. It's the classic apocalypse dilemma. A snack today or starvation tomorrow. Decisions. He continues his lecture on fun apocalypse facts, stating that prolonged starvation is a one-way ticket to crazy town. A bleak yet refreshingly honest assessment of their situation. And then with a glint in his eye that's just a little too enthusiastic, he reveals his culinary breakthrough. The monsters? Totally edible. Apparently, when you're hungry enough, gourmet is a very flexible term. To prove his point, he casually tosses some monster fat on the fire. For flavor. And to set a mood that says, I've given up on conventional food groups. And here we have a digital clock marking the date as February 14th. That's right, folks. All this talk of monster kebabs and starvation is happening on Valentine's Day. How achingly romantic. Suddenly, we're in a different memory. A woman is desperately calling for Xiaoming, who seems to have misplaced his own name. It's a soap opera, but with more impending doom. An insistent knocking at the door, followed by a cinematic creak. Oh, good home invasion. Just what this lovely Valentine's Day was missing. And there's our boy Xiaoming sporting a 1,000-yard stare that says he is well and truly over it. This is the face of a man who knows pizza is not on the other side of that door. He opens the door and is greeted with an object moving at high velocity towards his face. His expression clearly communicates, I appear to have made a tactical error. And contact, a brutal meeting of face and mysterious metal object. The little exclamation mark is the artist's way of saying, yep, that's gotta hurt. Down he goes. Our hero is now a crumpled, bloody heap on the floor. So much for that romantic dinner of monster fat and seed husks. And in a truly spectacular display of temporal confusion, his assailant wishes Brother M.O. a Merry Christmas. It's February, my dude. But hey, when you're busy committing assault, who has time for calendars? Well, look at this charming couple. The mastermind of this festive beatdown, flanked by his date, asks if our hero is surprised. Unexpected? My friend is the understatement of the frozen century. Xiaoming, coughing up blood, demands to know why. Betrayal? Something about a guy named Luo? The plot, much like our hero's face, thickens. And the traitor is revealed. Its pigtails now in full-on rage mode, accusing him of hiding chocolate from her. The one thing he gave her. Her fury is magnificent. She's not just mad, she's hangry. Our cane-wielding villain steps forward to deliver a classic monologue, dripping with false sympathy. When a guy like this says he feels sorry for you, you know things are about to get much, much worse. He lays out his simple philosophy. This is a jungle. Then he immediately pivots to taunting Xiaoming for failing to protect his girl. The sheer unadulterated audacity. A true showman. He continues explaining that weaklings only get two choices. This riveting TED Talk is punctuated by the sound of him dramatically smashing something. You know, for emphasis. And after all that posturing, we get to the real point of this whole home invasion. Forget philosophy, forget betrayal. He just wants their food. Xiaoming, who is literally just planning a menu centered around inedible seeds and giant bugs, can only sputter back food? The irony is so thick you could serve for dinner. The villain mocks him one last time, asking what he's going to do now that his whole independent survivor shtick has failed. It's a legitimate question, really. And Xiaoming's answer is apparently to have his foot brutally stomped on by a cane, while his eyes glow with impotent rage. A bold, if ineffective, rebuttal. The follow-up answer involves getting punched so hard his nose nearly achieves escape velocity. This Valentine's date is really going south. The cane makes another appearance, connecting with what I can only assume is a vital organ. A masterclass in villainous over-explanation followed by extreme violence. A flurry of puff. Effects, which is the international sound for your day, has been comprehensively ruined. And here's the grand finale of the beatdown. Our hero, now more blood than man, screaming into the void. Happy Valentine's Day indeed. But wait, there's more. The villain, looking utterly pleased with himself, announces they don't pick food, and then demands they give me the thief. Wow, beaten, betrayed, and slandered. We're trifecta. And now he's just polishing his ominously glowing knife. This guy's commitment to dramatic flair is honestly impressive. A symphony of sharp, cracking sounds fills the air as the beating presumably concludes. It's what I like to call percussive negotiations. But hold on. A cosmic, glowing figure appears. Is this a system power-up? A near-death hallucination? Or did he just remember he left the oven on? And we smash cut to a pristine high-tech office. A man in a suit face plants onto his desk. Clearly someone just woke up from a very, very bad dream. A close-up on his eye glowing with a celestial blue light. That is the look of a man who just relived the worst Christmas-Valentine's Day combo in history. Our office worker bolts upright, screaming. He's either horrified by the memory, or he just saw his quarterly performance review. Could go either way. He gasps for air, sweat beading on his face. That's right, buddy. Breathe through the phantom pain and crippling emotional trauma. Welcome back to the present. Staring out at the city, our hero ponders his grim reality. Fighting is a choice, but not fighting is a death sentence. Deep thoughts for a guy who just got virtually beaten to a pulp. The news ticker informs us that protests are still raging in Queens. Just another day in this cyberpunk dystopia. Meanwhile, across the river in Manhattan, the one percenters are partying at a club called Pleasure 2. Because of course they are. The time is 23:41. The narrator informs us that the past is but a prelude. No pressure or anything. Outside, a stunning aurora lights up the sky. Even in the middle of a societal collapse, you gotta appreciate a good light show. His phone rings. The caller ID is a single poignant word. He wonders who could possibly be calling him now. Let's be real, it's never good news. And we flash back one last time to his ex Ming delivering her pathetic excuse. I'm just a frail woman, she says, don't blame me. A performance worthy of an award. paired with the villain's triumphant sneer as he gloats about destroying the world's most powerful person. The betrayal neatly gift-wrapped. Back in the present, our hero answers the phone with all the warmth of a polar vortex. We're breaking up, he says, don't call me again. Ice cold. And with a decisive tap, he deletes her from his contacts. The modern equivalent of salting the earth where your enemy once stood. Brutal. Efficient. Staring out at the aurora, he concludes that a woman like her is now a liability. This isn't just a breakup. This is him adding a name to a very short, very serious list. Back in the city, a sign for the Brooklyn Queens Expressway points to Cadman Plaza, because it's comforting to know that even when the world ends, New York traffic signage will somehow survive. Priorities. Our resident brooder is back rocking his signature "I'm thinking very hard" face. With the sky putting on a pre-apocalyptic light, show he's vowed to prepare properly this time. Let's pray his plan involves more than just bulk buying toilet paper. And now for the doom and gloom schedule. 24 hours until a global flash freeze, and less than 28 until the planet becomes a permanent ice cube. No pressure though. Take your time. Amidst the burning buses and general public freakout, our hero contemplates the fragile concept of society. As temperatures drop, he predicts it's all about to shatter. Call him Captain Obvious, because we got that. And there's the 1 hour warning, folks. The final countdown. Time to make your peace, call your loved ones, or more realistically, fight a stranger for the last can of beans at the corner store. He's on a shopping spree, but he's skipping the canned goods and heading straight for the personal security aisle. Because when civilization collapses, the most dangerous animal is, of course, your neighbor Kevin. And what says personal security better than a sleek tactical handgun? He's gearing up. After all, frostbite is one thing, but getting looted for your last granola bar is a whole different level of inconvenient. Well, speak of the devil. New York's finest have arrived, and their suspicious guy's senses are tingling. The eager rookie looks like he's been waiting his whole life for this moment, which is never ever a good sign. Cornered. The police are telling him to freeze. Oh, the irony. You can tell by his expression, he is not amused by the universe's terrible sense of humor right now. Weapons are drawn, shouts of hands up fill the air, and our hero's day has officially gone from world-endingly bad to world-endingly bad with legal complications. Dispatch squawks about a suspected thief on 4th Avenue. As he's being questioned about his very illegal-looking package, you can almost hear him thinking of all the things to get busted for. It's this. He has the audacity to look shocked. Just absolutely dumbfounded that 2 cops might find a man lurking in an alley with a mysterious package 1 hour before doomsday a little bit suspicious. His phone hits 0. Time's up. He starts yelling about not having time to waste, which is probably the most relatable thing he's done so far. Now, he's clinging to a building while muttering "newbie, remember" to someone off-screen. Is newbie his getaway driver? His emotional support gerbil? We may never know. The rookie is now entering his final form. A screaming, spittle-flecked mess. He really wants to see what's in that bag. It's almost cute. With the casual demeanor of a man asking for directions, he smiles and claims he's just an office worker. A completely normal office worker who happens to be scaling a wall during an aurora borealis. In Brooklyn, nothing to see here. The zipper slides open, revealing a glowy blue thing. He quickly tucks it away because it's either a priceless artifact essential for humanity's survival or something he definitely doesn't have a permit for. Probably both. And the rookie finally sees it. The face he's making is not one of polite curiosity. That is the face of a man whose understanding of reality has just been violently shattered. Because it's a space gun, he's not just armed. He's armed with something that looks like it was stolen from a sci-fi movie set. So much for the office worker alibi. And he's making a run for it, leaving a trail of energy and chaos. In the background, a billboard for the future watches on, judging him. Deliciously ironic. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this close-up. This is the pure, unfiltered expression of a man who has made a series of catastrophically poor life choices in a very short amount of time. It's beautiful. Well, okay, as I just went full supernova crackling with cosmic blue lightning. That is not pink eye. And now the cops are unloading their service weapons into a swirling blue energy vortex. A classic by-the-book police procedure for dealing with interdimensional rifts, I'm sure. The vortex intensifies, and our hero looks absolutely terrified. Apparently, unleashing the powers of creation wasn't part of his 5-step plan to survive the apocalypse. Wait, scratch that. He's not scared, he's loving it. With a maniacal grin and glowing eyes, he realizes his past powers are real. He's not having a breakdown. He's having an upgrade. The rookie, bless his heart, is still trying. While screaming about being a taxpayer, he continues to fire his gun, operating under the bold assumption that cosmic horrors are vulnerable to bullets and civic duty. Swirling with raw power, our hero bolts. He's got no time for this shouting that he's too busy to deal with them. The sheer arrogance is breathtaking. More gunfire from the rookie. It's like watching a fly trying to take down a freight train. Points for effort, 0 for effectiveness. Something large and cylindrical hits the ground. That is not a shell casing. What is that? Just a maelstrom of blue and purple energy now. The entire street has become an abstract painting of poor decisions and supernatural phenomena. Someone in the background is shouting, "What the hell?" which frankly seems like the only sane response to any of this. The senior officer staring into the abyss asks the only question that matters. Were you? Because office worker is clearly no longer on the table. Behold his final form, for now. Glowing eyes, mystical face tattoos, and the distinct aura of someone who is about to be a massive pain for everyone involved. Radio chatter confirms it. Suspect fled, officer down, one police-issued firearm, missing. Our hero's little shopping trip has officially become a federal offense. This senior officer has the 1,000-yard stare of a man who is 2 days from retirement and just saw God get into a shootout on 4th Avenue. He's so done. He reports that he saw a ghost, which you know is technically an understatement. This was less spooky apparition and more unholy cataclysm with a bad attitude. And there he goes, a streak of blue light zipping through the city. Subtle as a brick, this one. He's back at some door, knocking frantically. A ghostly blue figure hovers behind him, because of course it does. Nothing about this day can be normal. Slumped against the door, defeated. Behind him, a trio of spectral figures materializes. This is either his new ghost squad, or he's being haunted for his terrible life choices. And here it is, the post-power-up existential crisis. He's questioning reality, regretting his choices, and generally having a very dramatic monologue with himself. The angst is palpable. Okay, crisis over. Pistol in hand, he stares into a mirror ready for a do-over. His brilliant new plan, apparently, is to shoot himself. This is fine. Everything is fine. He takes aim at his own reflection, which is shimmering with that signature blue glow. This is either peak metaphysics or the dumbest thing I've ever seen. BLAM. The gun erupts with a blast of yellow and blue energy. He just shot his reflection with a magic gun to absorb his own ghost? Sure, why not? His eyes are now a swirling tempest of cosmic power. The transformation is getting more and more extra. He's going to need a whole new driver's license photo. He's now engulfed in a storm of pure energy. This is it, the big one. Through the chaos, he grits out, caught it. He didn't just survive that insane maneuver. He leveled up. He's mastering the art of being a walking disaster. And now a moment of quiet reflection as a jet streaks by. He ponders the hell he's been through and the new hell he's creating, wondering if he'll lose himself to this power. Classic hero stuff. Get over with. Cut to a sinister grin. Oh, I know that smile. That's the smile of someone who's about to introduce a new, even more stressful plot twist. Meet our villain, a smirking megalomaniac who claims he saw this all coming. His special ability? Being one step faster. So he's not just evil, he's prepared evil. The worst kind. Back to our hero, looking all rugged and post-apocalyptic. He hears a knock and wonders who'd be visiting at the end of the world. I've got a sinking feeling it's not the pizza guy. A framed photo crashes to the ground as a panicked voice asks, "Was that just now?" Oh, that's the sweet, sweet sound of society taking a nosedive. You love to hear it. And here's our villain of the hour, sporting a grin that could curdle milk and blaming the noise on a broken remote. "Sorry," he chirps. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you mean, sorry I'm about to ruin everyone's day?" Because we both know that's what's happening. The cashier is stressing about a recent robbery and shoddy security. Meanwhile, sweet, innocent grandma just hopes everyone is all right. "Oh, honey, all right. Left the building about 5 disasters ago." Grandma then launches into a lecture about kids these days working too hard and ruining their health. Yes, because the number one health risk during the apocalypse is definitely carpal tunnel from your 9 to 5. The number 409 glows on a door with all the subtlety of a divine revelation. You know something important is about to go down when the architecture gets this dramatic. And just like that, playtime's over. Our villain gets serious talking about resource management. That a funny way to say stealing everything that isn't nailed down. A light bulb goes off over his head, or maybe it's just a glint of pure malevolence. Grandma mentioned the supermarket. His grin returns. It's time for an apocalypse-themed shopping spree. He officially declares it resource collection time. Let the looting begin. Back at the store, the cashier's face goes from concern to I'm about to die. Remember when Grandma said everything would be alright? Yeah, about that. Meanwhile, our actual hero is staring at the holy grail of a frozen apocalypse, an entire aisle of bottled water. With 45 minutes on the clock, this isn't just shopping. It's a race against the planet's thermostat. Just aisles and aisles of liquid gold. The clock is ticking. Let's hope he brought enough shopping carts. Elsewhere, our pigtails protagonist looks absolutely wiped, letting out a yawn that could swallow a small planet. Surviving the end of the world is exhausting people. She snaps to attention, frantically asking if anyone got anything. It's the universal sign for, did I miss the apocalyptic Black Friday deals? A mysterious note appears. Sorry. Don't be afraid. Go home and be safe. A heartfelt message with a charming typo. Nothing says imminent danger like a note from the grammar police's Most Wanted. Her face just screams, so let me get this straight. First the big freeze, and now this. The universe really needs to learn how to schedule its apocalypses better. The universal sound of negotiations breaking down. A shadowy figure cocks a pistol, and the onomatopoeia is in a very angry font. You know it's serious when the sound effects get their own stylist. And guess who's on the receiving end? Our girl laments her rotten luck, as she's told to put her hands up. Her day has officially gone from apocalyptically bad to potentially has a bullet in it. Suddenly, some dude with hair the color of radioactive waste starts screaming about a robber. Great. Now there's a hostage situation inside our other crisis. It's a turducken of terribleness. And another gun cocks, but this one's got flair. It's decorated with frosty blue patterns. When your firearm has a custom skin, you're either a pro gamer or a supervillain. My money's on the latter. Our green-haired friend suddenly feels a chill. Why does it feel so cold, he wonders. Buddy, there's a magic ice gun pointed at you. Connect the dots. Green hair points frantically at the door, while his bandana-wearing buddy is utterly confused. Looks like their 5-finger discount spree is about to be interrupted by an uninvited guest. The door swings open to reveal a glowing spectral frost demon. Well, that's certainly not the manager. This thing is radiating more ominous blue energy than a broken neon sign. Greenhair's face is a mask of pure terror as he asks the million-dollar question. What kind of monster are you? A valid question, to be fair. It's not every day you get robbed by Casper, the unfriendly ghost's angry older brother. His partner in crime quickly assesses the situation and declares it can't be killed, which you know is generally a bad sign when you're fighting something. Greenhair just looks ready for a long nap, so naturally Greenhair decides to shoot it. A lot. The bullets just pass right through the icy form, which is deeply inconvenient. It's like trying to fight a fog bank with a handgun. And that didn't work. The frost giant grabs Greenhair, its gaping maw ready for a little hooligan-flavored snack. Well, he had a good run. A short, loud, neon green run. Get a good look at this face, folks. This is the face of profound regret. The face of someone realizing that petty larceny was probably not the best career choice in a world with actual ice demons. And while one man is having his soul literally squeezed out of him, someone in the background yells, "Record a video, quickly." Never let a good supernatural mauling go to waste, right? Gotta get that sweet, sweet apocalyptic cloud. Cut to a scientist covered in, let's call it viscera, grimly volunteering for a mission. When the person who looks like they just wrestled a blender volunteers to go outside, you know things are bad. An alarm blares. Attention, all citizens. And this absolute legend mid-sip of coffee calmly observes something's going on. You think, Joe, did the city-wide panic siren give it away? Our hero arrives at the Department of Homeland Security and Logistics. The entrance is glowing. This is either the nerve center for saving the world, or they just have a really dramatic lighting budget. A close-up on some intense, glowing eyes. It's back, he says. And given the entire city is bathed in an ominous blue glow behind him, I'm guessing it isn't the McRib. 1 hour on the clock. The city looks almost peaceful from up here, doesn't it? It's like watching a beautiful snow globe right before a toddler shakes it into absolute chaos. Some scientist in a lab coat calmly says, "Please don't panic," next to a glowing red thingamajig. Nothing inspires calm like being told not to panic by a person standing next to a doomsday device. With a weapon that screams, overcompensation, our hero vows no more mistakes. At the same time, a PA system warns everyone about the extremely chilly wave. He's ready for the cold both outside and in his heart. So dramatic. And we meet this gentleman who's clearly graduated with honors from the school of menacing villainy. With a casual flick of his lighter, he asks, still not willing to talk? Oh, he is savoring this. Our protagonist, looking like he just lost a fight with a sack of bricks, insists he knows nothing. His hands are tied, his face is a mess, and he is 100% done with this entire day. The villain takes a drag from his cigarette, the smoke practically forming a smug little cloud. Then what's this? He asks, whipping out his phone. Oh, the dramatic reveal. A classic. And on the phone is a photo of our hero looking extremely out of it next to the boss's daughter. You dare drug the boss's daughter? The villain tuts. Oof. That's not just blackmail. That's career-ending, life-ending blackmail. He stammers out a weak defense. I didn't know. Buddy, that's what they all say. And judging by the villain's face, that excuse has a snowball's chance in hell. The villain just scoffs. Forget it, you're just a loser. He's not even angry, just disappointed. That's how to sting more than the bloody nose. And then a giant hand grabs him. The sound effect is PA, which I'm pretty sure is Manhwa for something just broke. His expression says it all. This has gone from bad to worse to, oh God, that's my arm. Then we see a knife, a big one, held in a hand with some very stylish pink and purple nail polish. Okay, our villains have a manicurist. Good for them. Bad for our hero. And then red. Just a whole lot of red. And another PA for good measure. I'm no doctor, but I don't think he's walking this one off. Our impeccably dressed villain starts, counting, on his blood-stained hands no less. This is less 1 potato, 2 potato, and more 1 finger, 2 fingers. He gets to 6, holds up a fistful of, oh good lord, are those fingers? He declares it's just right. This guy's hobby is collecting severed digits. I think we found our main villain, folks. So this Brother Long, our resident finger collector, is asked what to do with the body. His suggestion? Punish the sin of lust by burning him in the boiler. Because, of course, there's a conveniently located boiler. And with the casual air of someone ordering takeout, Brother Long says, just throw it in the boiler. The sheer nonchalance is bone-chilling. This man is pure, unadulterated evil wrapped in a ridiculously fluffy collar. We get a keyhole view of 2 goons, one with a gun, one with a sack, shouting, sayonara, as they leave. That's Japanese for, we've just done something horrible and are now leaving the premises. One of the henchmen worries if the boiler might, explode. His partner tells him to shut up because the boss is waiting. Franchement bonté. They're more concerned with workplace logistics than the desecration of a human body. Our hero has a moment of profound clarity, his eyes glowing with that special energy, as he says, wait, something's not good. You think. The cataclysmic energy explosion behind him might have been the first clue. And we flash to this. A stark raving mad hero completely paralyzed, babbling, It's just as some pink-haired menace looms over him. A fun little preview of the absolute train wreck his life is about to become. Back in the present, a power drill whines aggressively against metal. This isn't your dad's weekend DIY project. This is apocalypse-grade home improvement. And behold the fruits of his labor. Our purple-haired protagonist has constructed an entire indoor farming rig. In the middle of an apocalypse, this man is worried about his access to fresh kale. Priorities, I guess. He surveys his stockpile, water supplies the works, and somehow decides it's not enough. This is the face of a man who looks at a mountain of toilet paper and still thinks of maybe one more pack. While the master plan is revealed, he's not just surviving. He's creating a perfect survival room, a self-sufficient 5-star resort for the end of the world. Hi, my dude. His phone shows the global freeze has been going on for nearly 2 hours. Time is quite literally running out. The world is getting a severe case of freezer burn. Drill in hand, our guy grins. Time is life, my friend, he says, about to accelerate his construction schedule. You just know this is going to be loud, chaotic, and probably violate several building codes. Mid-drill, and knock at the door. His gleeful whoop-whoop tells us he's less concerned about uninvited guests and more intrigued by what fresh hell has arrived now. He opens the door to room 409 and gets a sudden jolt of deja vu. When your life is this nuts, you're bound to see a few reruns. A security guard, a man sporting a truly spectacular mustache here to bother Mr. Lin. His face is etched with concern, which is the default facial expression for everyone in this universe. Mr. Lin, with a smirk that could curdle milk, asks what happened to the other guard, Lao Xiao. He's not scared. He's just gathering intel for the drama he's clearly enjoying. The guard spins a yarn about a sudden temperature drop and a busted heating system. Mr. Lin immediately calls shenanigans, knowing this peace of mind visit is anything but. He flashes back to a previous heating disaster one that was completely foobar by the time he got to it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Well, not gonna happen. With a supremely suspicious thumbs up, Mr. Lin offers to fix the heating. The guard's immediate overjoyed, that's great, proves that magnificent mustaches do not in fact grant the power of discernment. The door to 409 creaks open ominously. It's never a good sign when the sound effect have their own dialogue. Mr. Lin heads upstairs, and the guards immediately ask where he's going. He just points and says of the boiler room. It's a classic I know that I know situation. The guard, still committed to the bit, clarifies the boiler room is in the basement and offers to lead. Mr. Lin's face just screams, "Oh honey, bless your heart." "Hold up," says Mr. Lin. Mrs. Fong said it was on the upper floor. He's just called their bluff, and you can practically hear the guard's cover story deflating. Mr. Lin looks back up the stairs, pretending to be confused. The guards behind him share a look, thinking their brilliant ruse is still in play. Spoiler, it is not. "It's so cold in this apartment," Mr. Lin states, playing along as the guards now lead him upstairs exactly where he wanted to go. He's not being led, he's managing his employees. He nonchalantly points out the weird smoke that looks like air conditioning. The guard apologizes for the bother, completely oblivious to the fact he's a pawn in Mr. Lin's game. More ominous creaks, a howling wind, and a supernatural shimmer. The universe is officially laying it on thick. With the unearned confidence of a cat about to knock a glass off a table, Mr. Lin declares this should be no problem. Wait, oh dear. A close-up on a hand dripping with a mysterious blue liquid. That is definitely not radiator fluid. Suddenly, we're in a nightmare dimension. A villain flanked by glowing-eyed specters calmly asks, "Do you want to ask something?" "Yes." Several questions, in fact, starting with "what the hell?" And it gets worse. A severed finger, a splatter of blood, and a desperate scream of "grow back." This has escalated from a busted heater to a full-blown body horror convention. Pure, unadulterated chaos. People are screaming, blood is flying, and the general consensus is, why is there a monster? And what the fuck is this? Valid questions all around. And here we see the security guard's magnificent mustache experiencing what scientists call abject terror. That single word, F-U-C-K, says it all. Behold, the Leviathan, a cosmic multi-jawed horror straight out of your worst nightmares. It's big, it's glowy, and it looks hungry. Our hero responds with the only appropriate reaction. A primal scream, his eyes now blazing with blue power. He is not having a good day. A colossal ghostly hand descends to crush our heroes, who can do nothing but hug and pray. This is what we call a non-optimal outcome. Close 1. A very shaken Lao Chow barely avoided a complimentary haircut from that ghost hand. He was that close to being slightly shorter. But wait, the door is open. Excellent. Our hero yells, seeing a sliver of hope. A full-speed sprint might just get them out of this. Or not. They're trapped inside the monster's mouth. Their shared EH perfectly summarizes the confusion and terror of being accidentally eaten. Now glowing like a radioactive smurf, our hero taunts the beast, asking if it can keep up. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Caught in a monster's icy jaws, he wonders if this is karma for a past mistake. Probably, but now's not the time for self-reflection. With a grim look back, he apologizes to Old Joe. That crackling energy means he's about to do something incredibly heroic or incredibly stupid. The door to 409 is their goal. Despite being inside a monster, his first priority is getting his new friend to safety. What a guy. With a surge of blue energy and a mighty off you go, he literally throws Old Joe towards the exit. This is not an escape. This is a powered human cannonball maneuver. The feedback is immense. Holy crap, what is this SL? He screams as raw power erupts from his body. Looks like he forgot to read the instruction manual for his new god mode. His eyes are now swirling vortexes of cosmic ice with intricate blue markings spreading across his face. The glow-up is real, and it is terrifying. He's consumed by a blinding storm of energy. He's less of a person now and more of an abstract concept with anger issues. Face twisted in a silent scream, he exhales a plume of frost. He's embracing the power, and it looks about as pleasant as swallowing ice cubes whole. A close-up on a monstrous star-pupiled eye. The word finger hangs in the air. This is getting weirdly specific, and I don't like it one bit. Staring up at the entity, our hero realizes something is missing. Where's its finger? And why does that detail seem so connected to old Joe? Now crackling with power, he's determined to get answers. But why is this happening? He mutters, "Welcome to the club, buddy. We've all been wondering." "Let's face it then," he declares, confronting the entity. He clarifies that when he's talking about old Joe, he's talking to it. Time to address the spectral elephant in the room. There it is. A skeletal beast, jaws wide open with the word fingers. Spelled out. Subtle. This is less a confrontation and more a very aggressive dental exam. And in a flash of insight, our hero realizes a critical detail. This condition, this power has nothing to do with white skin. The plot, much like our hero, thickens. So our hero has a moment of profound insight. Apparently the secret to unlocking his latent god mode was yeeting an old man, right? He felt a familiar energy when he did it, realizing his connection to old Joe is the key to his terrifying new powers. Radiating with enough blue energy to power a small city, he ponders the connection between these strange phenomena and pebbles. Yes, you heard me. Pebbles. Clearly we're dealing with some 5D chess-level thinking here. Meanwhile, the colossal skin tag monster remembers its last encounter with humanity, which it describes as having no chance of survival. Seeing it again, our hero's brain makes a very logical executive decision. Run. But then he stops, picks up a single pebble with his glowing hand, and has a revelation. Former prey, he muses, can also become, wait for it, the hunter. And there it is. The classic shonen power-up speech. He's got the glowing eyes, the dramatic aura, the whole 9 yards. The prey has officially left a negative review on Yelp and is now demanding to speak to the manager. And with that, he launches himself at the giant monster like a blue rage-fueled comet. This is no longer a strategic retreat. It is an officially scheduled butt-kicking. Look at that face. That is the face of a man who has completely run out of things to care about. With his hand crackling and eyes glowing, he's gone from survivor to apex predator. And here we see the classic anime beam struggle, a truly majestic yet endangered storytelling species. The sheer power on display here is enough to give an optometrist a heart attack. Our boy confirms his theory was correct. The plan worked. And judging by the blinding blue aura, his plan was apparently to become a walking, talking Chernobyl reactor. And here's the secret sauce. His ability works on targets contaminated with energy. He can accelerate them, so he can basically grab anything that's already glowing and just make it go faster. He breaks down the physics for us. By accelerating an object, he exponentially increases its kinetic energy. The old turn a pebble into an electromagnetic cannon trick. A staple of every high school physics textbook, I'm sure. Drip, drop. Something ominous is happening. With blue energy now cascading down his face like grotesque tears, he can only manage a bewildered HUH. This is probably not the skincare routine he was hoping for. The close-up on his hand reveals the horrifying truth. That's not energy. That's blue. Blood? So either he's part Smurf, or something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. What's going on? He screams as his own eyes start crying the same blue goo. It seems his body is having a slight disagreement with the laws of biology. And the disagreement escalates into a full-blown civil war. With a visceral scream, a torrent of blue energy erupts from his chest. His body is officially evicting its new superpower tenant. He's thrown into the air, a ragdoll in a hurricane of his own making. Sprawled on the ground, defeated, he whispers, "So cold." A chillingly literal observation to end a valiant effort. Well, that was a short hunt. A frantic voice calls out for MR, a lion, while another worries about old Joe. So our hero is Mr. Lin, and it seems everyone is having a collectively terrible day. A mysterious narrator pipes up, watching a sleeping figure. They call it a babe with a slow reaction time, noting that the fighting isn't over. Sounds less like narration and more like a condescending nature documentary. Elsewhere, the rest of the cast realizes a very simple truth. It's cold. Their mission: get to the security room and crank up the heat before they all become human-shaped ice sculptures. Things are getting complicated. Someone's poisoned someone else, is owed a life debt, and they're all about to freeze. Just another Tuesday in the apocalypse. General Statch here is in full panic mode, ordering Mrs. Fong and the others to go find Xiao Zhou. When a man with a mustache that glorious is freaking out, you know it's serious. He's so stressed he's run out of words. The ellipsis of pure terror. The rescue party is in a mad dash screaming for a Dr. Zhou. This is a race against time, and from the looks of it, time is winning. We find our hero Shaolin on a medical table being told you'll be okay, which is code for we have no idea what's wrong with you. Meanwhile, someone is sent to check on the chaos outside. Triage at its finest. The diagnosis is in, so cold, but somehow despite having a body temperature that should make him a popsicle, he's still alive. This man is literally too stubborn to freeze. A clinical, detached observation of our comatose hero. The official report, currently in coma. He's not dead, he's just buffering. Get this, his body temp is 10 degrees Celsius. That's 50 Fahrenheit for my fellow freedom lovers, but his pulse and reflexes are normal. Science has officially left the chat. A close-up on a new character whose blue earring seems to be glowing with the same energy. That can't be a coincidence. A voice announces blood separation has been completed. Let's see the results. Welcome to the world's most terrifying science fair. The scientist finds the results interesting, which is the universal term for deeply unsettling and probably violates several laws of nature. The finding? His blood looks normal until you spin it in a centrifuge, at which point it separates into blood and a distinct layer of blue stuff. Let's call them impurities because demonic space, goo, sounds unprofessional. Not content with just analyzing his blood, the scientist moves on to his skin, noting some peculiar characteristics. The internal weirdness is now becoming external weirdness. From a distance, the patterns on his skin look like veins. But up close, there's something else entirely. Something alien. And his eye, his entire iris, is now a pulsing, glowing orb of unnatural blue light. This is more than a medical condition. It's an unauthorized system upgrade. Just then our patient wakes up. What's going on? He asks. The mysterious scientist, looking over him, simply states you're awake. A master of the obvious, this one. Disoriented, covered in glowing blue hieroglyphics, he demands to know who she is. She calmly tells him not to move. The power dynamic here is not in his favor. She lights a cigarette, a devilish grin spreading across her face. Me? She asks mockingly. Well, I like her already. With a scalpel in hand, she says she can't reveal her name for some reasons. Reasons I'm guessing are less about personal privacy and more about avoiding an international tribunal. But she says with a playful finger wag, you can call me Document Joe. And with that, the plot, much like our hero's blood, thickens. Doc Joe immediately starts the interrogation, asking him how he got into this state. Our boy can only respond with a confused huh? Fair enough. Peering at his glowing skin through a microscope, she admits she's never seen anything like it. Then she immediately asks what was on the second basement level, clearly suspecting a connection. She leans in close, exhaling a plume of smoke. I'm very interested in you, she purrs. A sentence that is equal parts alluring and a massive 5-alarm red flag. Outside, the city continues to be buried in snow. A quiet, chilling reminder of the world they're all trapped in. Time for a fun fact. A helpful graphic informs us that the record for the lowest human body temperature survived is 13.7 degrees Celsius. Any lower and your cells should theoretically be destroyed. A fun, morbid bit of foreshadowing. A dramatic zoom in on the human heart. The engine of life currently running on fumes and sheer willpower. Back in the lab dock, Joe removes a thermometer from his mouth. Okay, you can let go now. It's time for the big reveal. The thermometer reads 11.5 degrees Celsius. That is 2 degrees Celsius below the established record for human survival. Take a look for yourself, she says. Our hero isn't just a medical anomaly. He's a walking, talking, blue-blooded middle finger to the laws of biology. A scientist states the painfully obvious. It's a miracle you're still alive. Our human popsicle, still grappling with the fact his body temperature is low enough to flash freeze a hot pocket, can only agree. Science, everyone. It's mostly just shrugging and saying Hanit. Sporting a fresh set of bizarre blue vein-like tattoos, our boy stares into the middle distance, having the classic, "Is this my superhero origin story?" moment. The question hangs in the air, smelling faintly of ozone and poor life choices. But Dr. Zhou has no time for his existential crisis. Peering into her microscope, she's all business, dismissing him with a casual, "I need to complete my plan ASAP." You know, just standard, ethically ambiguous doctor stuff. Nothing to see here. And here we have the face of a woman who not only has a plan, but has probably copyrighted it. The smug smile, the dangling cigarette, the cross earring. It all screams I'm the main character, and you're all just side quests. And he tries to make a dramatic exit. A foot slams down, a splash, a loud clang. It's less of a cool escape and more of a newborn foal trying to walk for the first time. A for effort F for execution. Dr. Zhou, ever the patient observer, calmly reminds him, "I told you not to move," with all the sympathy of a GPS recalculating. You could just hear the unspoken "you idiot" hanging in the air. With a smirk that could curdle milk and eyes glowing a concerning shade of pink, she announces she's figured him out. When your doctor's eyes start to glow, it's generally a sign that your health insurance is about to have a very bad day. She cuts right to it. "Do you have a superpower?" His face goes full Pikachu meme, a perfect storm of shock. And oh crap, she knows. "Dude, you just turned into a human eye sculpture." The cat's a little out of the bag. He immediately tries to deny calling it a joke. It's a performance so unconvincing, he makes high school drama students look like Oscar winners. Then he immediately admits he's been to the second basement, basically telling on himself. Smooth. Real smooth. And now for the big hero monologue. With eyes blazing blue, he declares that with his ability, activated climbing will be much faster. He's really selling the power fantasy here despite currently being unable to stand up. As if on cue, the floor erupts in massive shards of ice. It's very dramatic, very cool, and probably a nightmare for the cleaning crew. Someone's been watching a lot of Frozen. Dr. Zhou, completely unfazed by the sudden redecoration, just asks if he's okay. Meanwhile, our boy covered in frost is having a full-blown panic attack, screaming, "What's happening to me?" The tonal whiplash in this room is going to give someone a concussion. And the panic deepens. "Now I can't use accelerate?" Ah yes, the classic superpower fails at the most inconvenient time trope. It's a narrative staple for a reason, folks, and that reason is comedy. The clock ominously reads 2:52 p.m. According to the narration, based on last week's experience, something bad is about to happen. You know it's serious when your life starts having scheduled boss fights. And speak of the devil, purposeful footsteps approach. A stern voice scolds Dr. Zhou, telling them to behave while some eager beaver yells yes. The fun police have officially arrived, and they brought a hype man. Our new arrivals stand before a door flanked by the most offensively loud leopard print wallpaper I have ever seen. Because nothing says we're a shadowy and intimidating organization like a design choice from a 1970s Las Vegas motel. Back in the lab, Dr. Zhou stands over our patient who looks like he's having a very, very bad trip. The blue patterns are spreading, and he's hunched over in distress. Science is fun. A close-up on his face, a canvas of blue veins and pure, unadulterated EH. Dr. Zhou, however, has reached her daily limit for other people's problems. She takes a drag from her cigarette and serves up a look that just screams get lost. This woman's vibe is a national treasure. Then a change of heart? She offers a hand, telling him to get up and hurry. But let's be real, she's not being helpful, she's just trying to move the plot along. He hears a noise outside and is immediately told to lie down. By Dr. Zhou, she's playing 5D chess while this poor guy is just trying to remember how to blink. His response? Don't ask. Fair enough. He's had a day. She cups his face, and her eyes are now glowing blue, matching his. Are we coordinating our powers with our accessories now? Because I am here for it. She gives him the ultimatum. If you want to survive, do as I say. Her eyes switch back to glowing pink. Seriously, make up your mind, as she gives him strict orders to close his eyes and play dead. She's setting the stage, and our boy is the unwilling lead actor in her little play. A hand with fabulous dark nail polish presses a big red dramatic open button. You love to see it. And through the door struts, while this guy, rocking a faux fur collar and a frosty attitude, he offers a polite but utterly menacing sorry for the disturbance. He's about as sorry as a cat that just pushed a glass off a table. He gets straight to the point, asking Dr. Zhou what she wants. The tension between Dr. Rockstar and Captain Fabulous here is thick enough to spread on toast. He suggests a little chat. She hits him back with a devastatingly cool "it's up to you." This isn't a conversation. It's a verbal duel between two masters of not giving a damn. She asks about Resident 409, and on the table our patient has a silent internal scream. He recognizes the voice. It's all coming together in the most stressful way possible. Dr. Zhou, with the deadpan delivery of a funeral director, informs him that the person he's looking for is dead. Leopard print, guy doesn't even flinch. He just replies, "Is that so?" Which is villain speak for "I believe you about as much as I believe in low-fat cheesecake." The visitor, apparently named Luo Dalong, seems to know our patient was frozen last week. The plot, much like our hero, thickens. Meanwhile, our boy is having a complete meltdown, internally cursing the fact that his one cool speed trick is on cooldown. He's just trying to play dead and not get stabbed. Is that so much to ask? His inner monologue has officially devolved into a blood-red, all-caps scream of "kill this guy." So you know he's handling the pressure well. Luo Dalong seems confused. A single bewildered HUH? He can probably sense that the murderous rage in the room is not matching the dead guy's aesthetic. He turns his attention back to the doctor complimenting her hard work. It's the kind of compliment that feels less like praise and more like he's reading her rap sheet out loud. Then the bombshell. I just saw him blink. He offers to help check if he's really dead. His definition of check probably involves a lot more stabbing than a standard medical exam. Dr. Zhou doubles down on her, Lai looking thoroughly annoyed. I told you he is dead. She's trying to win an argument against a man who wants to perform an impromptu autopsy. In response, he whips out a butterfly knife with a grin that could scare a shark. What if it's just a false death? He purrs, ready to find out the hard way. He looms over the patient, knife glinting, and offers a chillingly polite sorry. This is the most threatening apology I have ever heard. And from the side, a close-up on a mouth, a cigarette, and a single nonchalant puff of smoke. Oh, that's not a sound of surprise. That's the sound of a plan coming together. Luo Dalong freezes, glaring at her. She did something. She played her card, and now he knows she's not just an observer in this game. And now she has a lollipop? This woman's oral fixation is a plot point in itself. With pink-tinged eyes and a smug little smirk, she's enjoying this way too much. Predictably, the goons lose their minds screaming about how she disrespected their brother Dalong. It's adorable how they think they're even remotely relevant right now. A hand shoots out, stopping the cannon fodder in their tracks. Daddy's home, boys, simmer down. Luo Dalong just stares, his scarred face a mask of cold fury. His silence is infinitely more terrifying than his henchmen's shouting. A lighter flicks open a sudden burst of flame in the sterile lab. In a shocking twist, Luo Dalong lights her cigarette. He says he could never doubt her after she saved his brothers. Is this a truce? A power move? An incredibly tense smoking break? Yes. He leans in, his eyes glowing red, and apologizes for his behavior. Please don't be angry, he says with all the sincerity of a fox in a henhouse. But, and there it is, the single most terrifying word in the English language, promising that whatever comes next will not be an apology. The classic you and me routine. Luo Dalong reminds our good doctor that he's been her benefactor, his smug face practically screaming, "Now be a good girl and do what I say." The subtext here is as subtle as a brick to the face. But Doc Zhou isn't impressed. She dismisses his entire monologue with a TSK that could curdle milk. It's a silent, smoky standoff, a high-stakes game of chicken between two people who clearly have zero chill. The second he's gone, her eyes flare up with an intense blue glow, because of course they do. She casually tells our boy on the floor to get up, whose new skin art is looking less cool tattoo and more sentient circuit board. Her eyes then swap to a playful pink, because apparently her irises are mood rings now. She dangles a cigarette, smirks, and basically says, "Okay, you look like you have questions. Spill." And our boy is doing the mental math, but it's not adding up. First, Luo Dalong tries to kill him, then helps him, and now this chain-smoking, eye-color-changing doctor is protecting him? My man's trust issues are getting a serious level up. But after all the near-death experiences and cryptic power-ups, his first question is about his clothes. You have to respect the priorities. Even when you might be turning into a human popsicle, the drip is eternal. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, it's a brisk minus 40 degrees Celsius. Lovely day for a stroll if you're a penguin. Enter Green Spikes and Redhead walking into, well, somewhere dark and ominous. The usual. Redhead here is in complete denial, trying to pass off the literal ice age as extreme weather. Green Spikes gives him a look that just screams, "Oh, you sweet, naive summer child." And here's our local tyrant, Luo Dalong, asking if anyone seriously thinks this is a short-term problem. Behind him, a goon is practically kissing the floor, apologizing for breathing, probably. Remember the government? Yeah, they don't remember you. All broadcasts have stopped, the internet is down. The world's IT department has officially clocked out for good. Naturally, Luo Dalong has whipped out a cross and is claiming this is God's punishment. Because when things go biblical, there's always one guy with a God complex who thinks he has a direct line to the man upstairs. But someone in the crowd has a very valid question prefaced with a magnificent PFFT. If this is divine judgment, why is a walking trash fire like you still breathing? A truly excellent point. He calls his new system harmonious, which is a bold choice of words for a guy whose coat is fighting a turf war between leopard print and fur trim. He's so proud of his order. So what does harmonious mean? This gentleman with the magnificent mustache clarifies for us. It means they risk their lives for supplies, and the leopard print landlord takes it all. Sounds fair. Luo Dalong calls it the order of equivalent exchange. He provides heat, you provide everything you own. Seems a little less equivalent and a little more glorified extortion racket. Mustache Man sums it up beautifully. Vampire. Couldn't have said it better myself. Then our villain twists the knife, casually lamenting that Mr. Lin in 409 already croaked. What a shame he says one less person for me to exploit. He's just a monster with a flair for dramatics. And just like that, the fight drains out of Mustache Man. His friend is dead. Suddenly, this isn't just about stolen supplies anymore. Meanwhile, back at the unlicensed Mad Science Emporium, our boy is being summoned, grumbling about having to put on clothes. The struggle is real. Doc Joe, rocking some killer pink eyeshadow, gets straight to business. Talk. Also, any idea how long you've been napping? He guesses 6 hours. Honey, try 6 days. The look on his face when he realizes he slept through an entire week of the apocalypse is absolutely priceless. And oh boy, has it been an eventful 6 days out there. Short version. Leopard Print Psycho took over the building, controls the heat, and is running a protection racket, forcing desperate people to choose between freezing to death inside or getting killed outside. As Doc Joe cynically puts it, venturing out is suicide. But staying put is also suicide. It's the apocalypse, you just get to pick your flavor of doom. The name Luo Dalong triggers a memory, and our guy is treated to a fun little horror movie montage inside his own head. Good times. Finally getting his priorities straight, he asks the one question that matters. Can you fix all of this? While gesturing vaguely at his new, blue-veined, possibly superpowered physique. And her response is to calmly start applying her eyeliner. The sheer, unadulterated audacity. This woman isn't just a mad scientist. She's an icon living her best life. Of course she can help. For a price. This is an underground clinic, sweetie, not a charity. She's got that look in her eye. You know the one. I'm about to make you an offer you literally can't refuse. Look. He says he's ready for anything, and she is delighted to hear it. The price? He has to be her personal lab rat. But don't worry, she promises her research won't endanger your life. A sentence that has never ever been true in the history of science. She leans in and purrs that she's very interested in him, which is science speak for I want to see what happens when I poke you with various sharp objects. And he just grins back, blue eyes flashing, and says, deal. My man saw a parade of giant flapping crimson red flags and decided they were just festive decorations. So step one of the cure? She holds up a vial of his blood next to a vial of glowing blue goo and cheerfully admits she has no idea what it is yet. Super reassuring. The science-why explanation is that his new blue veins are basically thermal converters sucking up heat because his body lacks it. He's a walking, talking, human-shaped radiator running in reverse. So the fix is simple. His body just needs a massive energy refuel. He's not dying, he's just apocalyptically hangry. The catch? He needs to eat a truly obscene amount of food to jumpstart the system. And wouldn't you know, her post-apocalyptic pantry is looking a little bare. Whoops. But our boy just smiles, eyes glowing like high beams on a dark road, and tells her not to worry. Because he has a way. And judging by that, look, his plan probably involves breaking something. Or someone. Turns out our guy had some serious foresight. We see a quick flashback to him pre-transformation stocking up at the supermarket like he knew the world was about to be put on ice. Back then, his only goal was to make it home in one piece with his glorious mountain of snacks. A simple man with simple, life-saving dreams. He makes it to his front door, the last bastion of safety in a world going cold. Cut back to the present. The blue-veined hand of power unlocks the door to his sanctuary. He opens it and, oh my, welcome home to the Ice Palace. He immediately realizes the heating has been cut off. Deliberately. It's cold enough in his own apartment to turn him into a permanent art installation. And he knows exactly who to thank for the new Sub-Zero interior decorating. A special one-fingered salute to the landlord of the year, Luo Dalong. But his meticulous prep work pays off. He unearths his secret stash, the high-calorie good stuff he bought before everything went sideways. And what is this glorious, life-saving treasure? An entire box of Sucker's chocolate bars. The breakfast, lunch, and dinner of champions in the new frozen world. Only problem? This specific brand of chocolate apparently comes with a hefty side of traumatic flashbacks. He makes a mental note to switch brands next time, assuming there is a next time. And we open on what I can only describe as a bad porcelain doll day, with someone's face literally cracking under the pressure. That metallic glint underneath suggests our boy is more than meets the eye and possibly overdue for a factory recall. Our hero, channeling his inner mad scientist, observes his own disintegrating face and concludes not enough. His solution? Double the dose of whatever's making him shatter. A solid plan with absolutely no foreseeable downsides. And there are the downsides. With a cry of "I'm afraid," T.O. loses control, he immediately loses control. A little late for that, buddy. The train has not only left the station, it has derailed and is currently on fire. Meanwhile, in a completely unrelated and not at all suspicious development, the door to apartment 409 is ajar. Just like my last Tinder-dated door is mysteriously open when it shouldn't be. We meet Team Rocket's less successful cousins wondering why their elaborate plan to open the door with a kid's fingers has been preempted. Apparently the door just opened itself. Honestly, the nerve of some people's private property. Oh hello, they're nightmare fuel. Those red veins are a bold fashion choice. Very Plague chic. Something tells me this isn't the welcome wagon. Our brain trust reacts with their trademark subtlety, their eloquent inquiry boiling down to "who the hell are you, and did you touch your stuff?" Cut to our favorite chain-smoking scientist document, Joe looking about as stressed as a cat in a sunbeam. The final simulation report is ready, which in this world usually means someone's day is about to get monumentally worse. On the big screen, we've got a little light show called The Reversal Process, which sounds less like science and more like a bad DJ name. The doc is about to peek under the hood of our boy's biology to see what makes him tick and crack. And there it is, the first crack in her cool exterior. When a lady who smokes next to biohazards says this is bad, you know it's really bad. Something about too much glycogen. Is he going to get super diabetes? Back to Team Moron, who have decided that shouting is the best negotiation tactic. They're laying claim to everything in the room, which is like calling dibs on a live grenade. And our boy goes from mildly concerning to full-blown demon, complete with a wicked grin that says, "I'm about to redecorate this hallway with your internal organs." He screams out of control. Well, no kidding. The glowing red aura and the screaming were a bit of a giveaway champ. Record scratch 72 hours earlier, the apartment just looked like a smurf had exploded. The central question, what kind of party foul results in this much blue goo? Document Joe, ever the professional, encounters a pulsating gelatinous mystery mass and asks the most important scientific question of our time. What the hell is that? She bags a sample, muttering interesting. And by interesting, she means this could either cure cancer or turn the entire city into jello. A real toss-up. And of course she's on camera. Because in any self-respecting apocalypse, Big Brother is always watching you poke the mysterious blue goo. Time to check the tapes. Doc Joe is about to become a post-apocalyptic detective, and I, for one, am here for it. She finds what looks like the building's central nervous system and starts yelling hello at it. A bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Having apparently commandeered the PA system, she makes an announcement with all the warmth and charm of tax audit. And in today's dose of bleakness, a child is hungry while the powers that be remind everyone to ration their supplies. The contrast is, well, it's not subtle. A mysterious figure watches a TV, which is a rare commodity these days. The ominous text, because from now on, suggests they're not just catching up on reruns. Even in the end times, some things never change. Manual labor sucks, and Grandpa's been hitting the canned beans a little too hard. And here's our antagonist, a man who looks like he flosses with barbed wire. He's instituting a heating tax, which is the evil landlord's final form. Meanwhile, some poor soul is worried about old Josh, who apparently sounds different. Given the context of this series, different probably means he's sprouted tentacles. Our villain, draped in what I can only assume is a critically endangered Muppet, explains that he's doing this for their own good. Classic abuser logic. And with a single dramatic flick of a switch, the entire building is now an icebox. Theatrics, darling. It's all about the theatrics. He claims he's saving resources. Sure, buddy. And I'm saving this entire pizza for myself for dietary reasons. This is about power, people. All the crazy laugh. You're not a real villain until you've mastered the unhinged head thrown back cackle. He's a natural. Back to a face filled with quiet, simmering rage. This is the look of someone about to make some very poor but very entertaining life choices. A simple question asked with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Do you hate? Not are you upset, not are you peeved. Straight to the primetime emotion. Our guy now in a lovely orange jumpsuit is understandably confused. This is not your standard prison intake questionnaire. And there's the kicker. This isn't therapy. It's a recruitment drive for the We Hate Luo Dalong Club. And I think they just found their new president. The eyes say it all. And right now, they're screaming, yes, yes, I do hate him, and I would like to express that hatred via extreme violence. The hooded creep is delighted. He's found a kindred spirit. It's really quite heartwarming in a deeply psychotic, codependent sort of way. And there he is, our freshly minted rage monster, glowing like a demonic Christmas tree. The object of his hatred, Luo Dalong looks on like a proud, evil father at his son's first arson. But this power-up comes with a few side effects. Namely spontaneous self-strangulation and your skin cracking like a dropped iPhone. Minor details. In case you missed it the first 50 times, he is angry. The art style is really committing to the rage-fueled eyeball motif, and I respect it. Luo Dalong, in a moment of casual dinner conversation, helpfully clarifies that human flesh tastes like beef, which he doesn't eat. So, will you eat, you terrifying cannibal fashionista? And that little culinary confession is all it takes to push our hero over the edge. The entire room starts to disintegrate as he unleashes his rage. Luo Dalong's reaction? He's smiling. Of course he is. Just as he's hitting his destructive stride, he's unceremoniously dragged away. A classic case of premature annihilation. The peanut gallery is, shall we say, not enjoying the show. Their faces scream, I'm gonna need so much therapy after this. And the source of their terror is a guy whose flesh seems to have evaporated, leaving a screaming, glowing pink skeleton. You know, a normal Tuesday. Their brilliant deduction is that he fell. Yes, people often turn into glowing skeletons when they fall 4 stories. Simple physics. This guy speaks for all of us. What had just happened? My man's brain just blue-screened, and honestly same. Then a figure emerges from a pink energy vortex, prompting the only logical question. Is that an alien? Sir, this is an apartment complex, not Area 51. Even the houseplants are getting into the act, bathed in the ominous red aurora glow. When your ficus starts having a supernatural event, it's probably time to move. One of our background characters correctly assesses the situation. They're comprehensively, utterly screwed. At least he's a realist. But realism isn't going to stop this guy from going down swinging. He unleashes a battle cry that's 90% desperation and 10% poor life choices. You gotta admire the spirit. And our new big bad just smiles, glowing with the confidence of a man who knows he's about to turn someone into a fine red mist. What a cliffhanger. The classic law of the jungle speech. Usually delivered by someone who's never seen an actual jungle and probably thinks tigers use cutlery. He's really committing to the bit with the blood red aura though. 10 out of 10 for theatricality. And accompanying this stirring monologue is the sound of 1,000 tortured souls and a spectral popping noise. Our hero is about to be swarmed by what appear to be angsty red ghosts. This day just keeps getting better. So fast. Yep, understatement of the year. Someone just broke the sound barrier and possibly our hero's composure. Our villain now, glowing a fabulous shade of magenta preens for the camera. He's trying to provoke me. He says with all the self-awareness of a rock. Yes, mate, that's generally how fights work. Cornered by the angry red squiggles, our protagonist lets out a mighty battle cry of meow. Bold choice. Let's see if attempting to sound like a terrified kitten works as a defense strategy. The chorus of terrified meows continues. It's like a haunted house cat cafe in here. Service is terrible, by the way. 1 star. The villain follows up with some vintage grade A bullying. Don't move if you dare. You weakling. You can really tell this guy peaked in middle school. His eyes start glowing with the intensity of 1,000 overdue library fines. He's about to unleash his ultimate move, the power of poor anger management. And there it is, a massive screen-filling kanji for rage, because subtlety is for other people. And a dramatic close-up on the eye, just in case you missed the memo. He is mad. Finally, our boy fights back, channeling his inner angry raspberry and lunging forward. And just when you thought it was a one-on-one, a new challenger enters the arena, dressed in what I can only describe as business casual apocalypse chic, and landing with enough force to rearrange the floorboards. Lin Montak. Apparently someone is not happy to see him. A face that could curdle milk screams, look back, which is generally terrible advice in a horror movie, but what do I know? Wait, hold on. Is that Mingming, the adorable pigtail girl? With a gun. Okay, I did not have child soldier cuteness on my bingo card today. Our hero, glowing like a demonic nightlight, voices the question on everyone's mind. Why? A very valid question when the resident cute girl is pointing a Glock at you. Enter Doc Joe with the most reassuring line ever delivered by someone with glowing pink eyes. Don't worry, it's just some insulin. Sure, it is document. And I'm the Queen of England. And down he goes. The insulin seems to be working as intended. Or, you know exactly how he thought it would. It's to break down the excess heat in your body, she explains while giving him a hug that looks suspiciously like a restraining hold. Nothing says medical professionalism like a vaguely threatening embrace. And here it comes the single most terrifying word in the English language. But, cut to a scene of utter chaos, and someone asking the obvious question to which the answer is clearly a whole lot of bad. And we pivot from a messy room to, oh, that's dark. Cannibalism among kin. Well, that escalated. Guest family dinners are off the table. And just to really bring the mood down, a history lesson. Wars, strife, human misery, all the greatest hits. Followed by a lecture on industrial development, featuring a confusing stock photo collage. Are we still in the same story? And a title card reading Never Left over a spooky, desolate city. The vibe is now officially post-apocalyptic downer. After that montage of human suffering, our hero is just chilling in a greenhouse. The tonal whiplash is giving me a headache. Just kidding, nap time's over. A mysterious woman with a cigarette and zero patience informs him it's time to go back to sleep. Sorry about that, she says, not sounding sorry at all. She then asks what's going on, which frankly is a question I've been screaming for the last 10 panels. And then she picks a tomato, because when confronted with supernatural chaos, the only logical next step is horticulture. And she eats it with the ferocity of a starved wolverine. That poor tomato never stood a chance. A moment of quiet contemplation in her murder garden. Her verdict on the blood tomato? Surprisingly not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 5-star Yelp review. She figures she's grown enough to feed the whole building, which is either very neighborly or the start of a very sinister potluck. And now for something completely different. A blizzard. 2 people are freezing to death. The genre roulette wheel is working overtime today. Our traveler is visibly not having a good time. Cold as it turns out cold. The classic, can you make it? Exchange. The response should be is about as convincing as a $3 bill. He follows up with a confident no problem, which in these stories is the universal signal for there is absolutely a problem. But wait, a sudden memory. A chocolate bar. The ultimate survival tool. This could change everything. Or not. No need, she says, clearly unimpressed with his emergency snack-finding skills. They lament losing something to that bastard. A frantic pocket-patting session begins. And then the sad realization. Dear, stop looking, he says. Don't you remember? A flashback. The chocolate was given to their daughter. A detail that is somehow both sweet and incredibly depressing. Just a nice, quiet shot of a person freezing to death to let that sadness really sink in. His response to this tragic memory? Laughter. A completely normal and well-adjusted reaction, I'm sure. The laughter quickly fades into a full-blown mental breakdown, complete with spooky ice claws of despair. Fun times. And from despair to whatever that is, we got exposed brain blood and a general sense of nope. This is what happens when you forget about the chocolate. His companion's reaction is a single silent speech bubble, which I think we can all agree is an understatement. And the transformation is complete. He's now a giant ice flesh monster with wind written on his forehead. You know, for branding. His first act as a giant ice monster is naturally to impale his friend. As one does. Teamwork is clearly not his strong suit. And we end on a close-up of pure, unadulterated terror. A fitting end to our little winter wonderland excursion. Right, so our heroine is currently being evaluated by what appears to be a sentient glacier with a god complex. Its opening line? A calm, collected woman. Deletion. ICHR is handling this one directly. Now decorated in a lovely shade of someone else's blood. Our girl looks up from the carnage and asks the only question that matters. What is this? A valid if somewhat understated inquiry. Meanwhile, her friend, whose fashion sense is clearly apocalypse-proof, decides now is a great time to yell HEY. Don't space out. Yes, because the immediate danger is her daydreaming, not the interdimensional ice demon. Priorities. And here's why she was spacing out. This is the face of a woman who just saw the final season of Game of Thrones for the first time. Pure, unadulterated shock. The little puff of frost just adds to the I've seen things aesthetic. Oh, look, a friendly voice from on high beckoning from a window. This is free candy van written all over it, but in building form. Okay, scratch that. The message is less free candy and more classic 80s action movie. Run if you want to live. Our girl below is understandably frozen, and not just from the weather. And she's too late. The monster is now serving up a healthy portion of icy death spikes. It seems to be a firm believer in the pointy-in-goes-here school of combat. Oh, wonderful. It's evolving. Because what this situation really needed was for the giant ice monster to get spikier. Another reaction shot, just in case the first one didn't fully capture the sheer, overwhelming nope of this entire situation. Our heroine is now learning how to fly courtesy of the monster's Yeet and Elite program. The gaping maw is a lovely reminder of what happens if you fail the final exam. And she's not alone. She and her scarf-wearing buddy are now enjoying a tandem skydiving session minus the parachutes. 10 points for the synchronized flailing. After that brief aerial excursion, she's back on the ground, enjoying a lovely worm's eye view of her impending doom. We finally get to the heart of the matter. Through the blood and tears, she asks the universe what is happening. The universe, so far, has not deigned to reply. And just when you thought things couldn't get weirder, some dude decides the best way to help is by setting himself on fire. This is either incredibly brave, or he's just auditioning for a heavy metal album cover. Our new highly flammable protagonist launches himself into the fray. That discarded can suggest this was a carefully planned act of fiery whatever this is. Fire meets ice. The result is a light show that would make a Michael Bay film look like a student project. The property damage is, I assume, catastrophic. The aftermath for our Human Torch is not great. Screaming HHHH while being consumed by his own flames seems like a reasonable and frankly predictable reaction. Oh, the irony. The man made of fire gets chomped by the ice monster, and his last words are a complaint about the heat. You can't write this stuff, folks. Meanwhile, our original survivors have apparently escaped the fireworks display. Standing before what looks like a Soviet-era apartment block, they dare to hope the monster didn't follow. Famous last words. And what's that? An elevator. A symbol of hope in this frozen hellscape. Because nothing says safety like a rickety metal box suspended by a single fraying cable. And the hope is gone. This is the face of someone who just realized the monster took the stairs. The monster is back, having upgraded from giant ice demon to glow-in-the-dark skeleton. Our heroine has a sudden, terrifying epiphany about its true nature. A real oh no moment, which leads to the universal response to existential dread. Frantically mashing the elevator button. Hurry, hurry, hurry up. Come on, you glorified dumb way to go. And here's a glamour shot of our big bad. All T spikes and bad vibes. Definitely a swipe left situation. The pounding continues. Below, the monster makes a sound like a demonic pigeon, which is somehow far more terrifying than a roar. Suddenly, Captain Coolscarf gets all intense, revealing a rather impressive set of fangs, and yelling, "Close your eyes." Is he about to do something awesome, or just really embarrassing? Our heroine, wisely not closing her eyes, can only manage a single perfect, what? Honestly, same. And now she's being launched out of the building accompanied by a laser light show of pure pain. This is not the elevator ride she was hoping for. But wait, the monster is clutching its head, complaining about a bright light. Apparently, this eldritch horror's one weakness is a poorly timed camera flash. And our savior is Guitar Hero, back from the dead and posing like he's headlining Wembley. That creepy smiley face patch really ties the whole unhinged rock god look together. And he drops the most cryptic, grammatically questionable, and frankly lawsuit-adjacent line of the series. You smells like teen spirit. Is he a fan? A critic? A copyright lawyer? He's not waiting for an answer. He just launches himself forward, breaking the sound barrier and probably several local ordinances. The monster, it turns out, is a music critic. And its review is in hate, rock, trash, harsh, but to each their own. And now for something completely different. Meet Dorothy Perez. She wants to be a doctor, and she has absolutely no idea she's in a story about fighting ice demons with the power of rock music. Flash forward, and little Dorothy is now Dr. Perez, looking significantly more world-weary and holding a biohazard container. This medical drama just took a very sharp turn. And this is where she meets Matt. He's currently cosplaying as a mummy, which suggests their first date was eventful. Even wrapped up like a forgotten Christmas present, Matt can still appreciate a good bowl of noodles. The blush suggests either romance is in the air or that soup is just really, really spicy. And look at Dorothy. That is not the face of a purely professional caregiver. There's a whole story hidden behind those slightly unsettling purple eyes. Cue the rom-com montage. Wedding bells, baby rattles. A perfect happy life condensed into 2 panels. They're moving, they're smiling, the kid is adorable. It's so wholesome it almost makes you forget about the, ice monsters. And we're back to reality. As the monster looms, it all clicks for our guitar hero Matt. This isn't just some random kaiju. This is personal. And this is the look of a man whose entire happy family montage was just brutally stomped on. After going through so much, is the universe's cruelest punchline. As the monster literally screams, its negative review, our supporting cast can only stand there gobsmacked that this dude is actually fighting a Cthulhu-level threat with an electric guitar. Our leading lady serves a face that perfectly encapsulates the audience's reaction. This is absolutely the most ridiculous thing ever. You said it, sister. And with a final power chord, Matt throws up the horns. The imaginary Jumbotron behind him flashes victory. The concert is over, folks. Or so he thinks. But the monster demands an encore. And by encore, I mean it calls him annoying. The nerve. After that killer solo. A close-up on our hero. Those blue eyes are practically glowing with confidence. Or maybe it's just the lingering pyrotechnics. He launches into another riff, this time stepping on what I can only assume is a Make It Louder pedal. Time for the finale. Unfortunately, someone forgot to secure the stage props. Our heroine gets caught in the blast sent flying amidst a shower of shrapnel. The monster unleashes hell. Our girl is just a tiny speck in a hailstorm of pure destruction. Turns out the front row at this show is a splash zone. And we're back to our regularly scheduled program. The Ice Kaiju Demolition Derby, starring our boy as the Demolition. The special effect this time is just one giant kanji for retching, which feels appropriate. The sheer scale of the property damage is, and I don't say this lightly, magnificent. Amidst the chaos, a single kanji floats, meaning alone, as in you are alone in paying for all this. While someone's having a worse day than me after Taco Tuesday, he's become a modern art installation titled Sprawled Man on Ice, and down below our little witness gets a front row seat to the brutality. She asks the million-dollar question, is it over? Honey, judging by the abstract blood painting on your face, the answer is a resounding nope. Oh, but wait a second, opinion. This guy with all the confidence of a middle manager ending a Zoom call declares the nightmare is finally over. I'm sure everyone feels much better now. And there it is. The longest, coldest, but in history, the immediate regret is so thick you could cut it with an icicle. So the fight is truly over when the hypothermia and crippling trauma finally have time to kick in. That's your cue to find a corner and vibrate uncontrollably. Just when you think you've finally earned a commercial break, a wild hand appears. Its intentions are unclear, but it's super effective at being profoundly confusing. And who is this? The Apocalypse's resident acoustic guitarist here to tell us everything's okay with a smile that screams, I definitely have a side quest for you, and no, you can't skip the cutscene. A moment of peace. Look at the majestic skeletal branches. A perfect time for quiet reflection, or more likely for the next horrible thing to jump out from behind a dead shrub. And we're back to the suffering. Our guy is making a noise that sounds exactly like my kettle and looking about as functional. The distant fire just adds a sad, pathetic ambience to the whole thing. Let's take a look around. He says, staring into what is clearly a haunted funhouse mirror. Dude, that's the horror movie equivalent of saying I'll be right back. Just don't. Our wandering minstrel is back this time, moonlighting as a funeral director. Get you a man who can do both. Play you a sad song, and then gently close your eyes for the last time. Another but. This story has more buts than a Sir Mix-a-la convention. Also, no one's going to mention the creepy ghost man photobombing them in the window reflection. Okay, cool. Nothing says contemplating mortality quite like lighting up a cancer stick. He says the magic words dust to dust, ashes to ashes, while actively making some new ashes. Poetic, really. Besides mourning the dead, we also need to protect the living, right? Spoken like a true RPG protagonist. We've mourned for a full 30 seconds, people. Now it's time to farm XP and protect the NPCs. Her face says it all, which is to say it says nothing but a giant floating question mark. A perfectly reasonable response to his little motivational speech, and frankly, to everything else. Whoa, the rare moment of self-awareness. He realizes his onward to victory. Speech might have been a bit much for the girl who just watched her entire life get flash frozen. Character development, folks. In a moment of quiet vulnerability by the fire, our rugged hero introduces himself as Dorothy. Okay, not what I had on my apocalypse bingo card. Okay, backtrack. He was just testing you. A social experiment. He's Corbin. Totally. You can tell by the nervous sweat and shifty eyes that Corbin is a very real and not at all made up on the spot name. And look at that, a genuine thank you from this pink-haired newcomer. In this economy, that's worth more than a can of non-expired beans. Corbin says you're welcome with all the casualness of a man who doesn't notice the Michael Bay movie spontaneously erupting directly behind him. The classic post-apocalyptic pickup line. So, you also going out to risk life and limb for a box of stale crackers? It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. My situation is a bit complicated. Translation: my emotional baggage has baggage which is also carrying smaller, more complicated baggage. This man is a human nesting doll of problems. Hold on, I want to show you. This. Ooh, the dramatic reveal. Let me guess, is it more suffering? A monster? Your shockingly high credit card debt? The suspense is killing me. And probably him. And now for a tragic backstory brought to you by the city of Seattle. She came for a friend's stay for the surprise Ice Age. Talk about bad travel planning. Oh look, they were in a high school band. I bet they were called the Hypothermals or Frostbite Me. Simpler times before the world became a giant, unregulated slurpy machine. Scene omitted. And just when we were having a tender moment, the universe screams massacre 3 times. The mood whiplash is giving me a concussion. Yep, that's a massacre, all right. The entire city has been put on ice, literally. Looks like Elsa finally snapped and decided to stop letting it go. What are those? Corbin, my man, I have no idea. And frankly, they look like rejected designs for a death metal album cover, so I don't think we want to know. Here's our hero on his daily commute through the 9th circle of Hell Frozen Yoga Edition. At least there's no traffic. Oh no, that direction is... what? The IRS? A Nickelback concert? The suspense is unbearable. Finish the sentence, lady. The apartment. The promised land. Or knowing this series, a 5-story building filled with ice spiders and deep, deep regret. And somebody's special eyes are activating. He's at the I see dead people and... or can perfectly adjust the thermostat look. This is the face you make when your powers activate for the first time and you realize you didn't read the terms and conditions. Pure, unadulterated, what the hell did I sign up for? Enter Femme Fatale, stage left. She says, and then, this, with the chilling calm of someone about to reveal a new casserole recipe, not orchestrate a complete psychological breakdown. Scene omitted. Oh, nothing. Just putting on a safety measure. Ah, yes, safety, as in this very stylish and not at all threatening submission collar. Totally normal research procedure. It's in the fine print, I'm sure. And now, for a brief educational segment. Today's topic, collars. An accessory with a rich history of evolving context. For centuries, a symbol of slavery and absolute control, a heavy burden passed through generations. And now, it's a fun toy for adults with a safe word and a healthy disregard for their security deposit. What a journey. Don't worry, says the mad scientist with the sinister glowing eyes, it's not for those purposes. Which frankly only makes me more concerned about what its actual purpose is. He hits back with the classic, I wasn't even thinking of anything dirty until you said that. Defense. Sure, buddy. The blush that's visible from space tells a different story. The condition was to be your research subject, not your... gimp? Bait. Unpaid intern? The possibilities are all equally horrifying. Exactly, she says, masterfully twisting his words. You are a research subject, and this charming neckwear is just part of the uniform. Now hold still. She leans into you remember that weird superpower thing I told you about? Which is doctor speak for prepare for a horrible revelation about your own body. I said it helps you absorb and store heat, right? She reminds him with the tone of a Bond villain who's just about to reveal the laser's true function. The collar isn't for him, it's for her. It's a science Fitbit. A Fitbit of damnation custom-made to prove her probably evil hypothesis. For science. So it's a mood ring powered by blood sugar that unlocks another state. This sounds less like a scientific device and more like the feeding instructions for a gremlin. Do not let this man near a candy bar. Our hero, wearing his best, I'm confused, but also trying to look tough, face asks what the hell Doc is talking about. And Doc Zhou, who clearly gets her lab coats from the sinister She collection, is just soaking it all in. She loves a captive, bewildered audience. Leaning in with all the subtlety of a freight train, she asks if he remembers the last 20 minutes. It's less of a question and more of an accusation delivered with a puff of "I'm smarter than you" smoke. Visual error. And the answer is a resounding nope. His brain has apparently hit the factory reset button, a fact emphasized by the background shattering like my hopes and dreams. This isn't just amnesia. It's a full-blown mental blue screen of death. In a stunning display of terrible bedside manner, she gives him a little nose boop and says, "Don't worry," which, coming from her, is the scientific equivalent of saying, "This is going to hurt a lot." She clarifies that his memory loss is okay because she's here to figure things out. Translation: your existential terror is a fascinating data point for my research paper. She's not a doctor. She's a data scientist with a questionable moral compass. And here's the kicker. She calls this agonizing ordeal part of our research. Her motto is clearly, "It's not a human rights violation if you publish the results." This isn't a checkup. It's a performance review, and he is failing spectacularly. Our boy has a rare moment of clarity, realizing this woman has him completely wrapped around her little finger. A finger that was just, and I cannot stress this enough, booping his nose condescendingly. He gives us the classic anime, "I'll get to the bottom of this eye gleam." And as she walks away, you can practically hear her thinking good luck with that lab rat. The power imbalance in this room is staggering. And now, for some casual property damage. Someone, presumably our favorite Mad Doctor, is asserting dominance over a control panel with their foot. Because why use your hands when you can be dramatic? Oh good, it's time for the non-consensual electroshock portion of the exam. Judging by the screaming, I'd say he's not a fan of acupuncture's angrier, less effective cousin. Our protagonist, a true master of situational awareness, asks what's happening. Buddy, you're strapped to a table and wired up like a Christmas tree. Take a guess. This is the question you should have asked 3 rooms and a memory wipe ago. Ah, clue. A bag of glucose? He seems concerned about the concentration, probably because she's about to give him weaponized diabetes. This isn't in 4 drip. It's an experimental super soldier Slurpee. As he convulses in agony, her professional medical opinion is such a big reaction. Her first priority isn't stabilizing the patient, it's recording the data. She has the empathy of a rock. A very smart, very evil rock. Through the agony, he asks the million-dollar question, "What did you do to me?" Which is adorable. You think she's going to tell you? That would spoil the research. Oh right, I almost forgot. She says with the casual air of someone who just remembered to buy milk. I'm sure whatever she forgot is perfectly safe and not at all horrifying. Her next command for the man, currently being electrocuted and pumped full of mystery sugar: squat down. I'm sorry, what? Is this an experiment or the universe's most high-stakes CrossFit session? And for her next trick, she's brought a houseplant. Welcome to Dr. Moreau's Garden Center, where the ethics are flimsy and the foliage is probably carnivorous. Yep, she put the plant on his chest, in the middle of the whole electrocution setup. I have no words. This is peak grade A artisanal mad science. He's just staring, completely broken by the sheer botanical absurdity of it all. PLA plant? He stammers, his brain unable to process the ficus of this experiment. Don't worry, buddy. None of us understand what's happening anymore. And cue the body horror. His eyeball is turning into a Pink Floyd laser show, which is rarely a good sign for one's physical or mental health. And we've reached peak terror. He has seen the face of God, and it is a small, unassuming potted plant. The man has snapped. Meanwhile, someone with fabulous purple hair and a fur collar finds this whole breakdown quite amusing. You just know this person's favorite movie is The Human Centipede. And now the two halves of his personality are having a brief, violent disagreement. Cut to our protagonist, or at least a protagonist, chilling in what looks like an abandoned botanical garden. He's found a new hideout complete with moody lighting and potential tetanus hazards. Just taking in the post-apocalyptic scenery. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear literally shedding his skin like a horrible, fleshy cicada. Edgelord Prime is here, and he wants to know if he can see him now. We see you, dude. We wish we didn't. Our original protagonist, seeing this fashion nightmare materialize, is asking the right questions for once. Evil Me has apparently embraced the transformation, mastered the villainous smirk, and is ready for round 2. This family reunion is about to get ugly. It takes him a second, but the penny finally drops with the force of a meteor. He's not fighting a monster. He's fighting a very angry, very powerful mirror. His first logical assumption? I must be hallucinating. A sound strategy, my friend, but unfortunately for you, this particular nightmare is 100% real. and his reflection is quick to confirm it, helpfully adding that Doc Zhou can't hear you now, which is ominous as all hell. The power dynamic has officially shifted. He presses the issue. If I can't hear, does he mean she's unconscious and possibly bleeding on the floor? Yes. Yes, he does. The lab rat is officially running the lab. OG Protagonist demands to know if this is all Evil Me's fault, which, given a maniacal glowing and the general vibe of pure chaos, seems like a safe bet. But Evil Me hits him with a classic villain non-answer. Sort of, but also not. Thanks, man. Super helpful. That really clears things up. This naturally does not help our hero's spiraling existential crisis. He's screaming, he's confused, he's having the worst identity crisis since that guy who thought he was a glass of orange juice. And the big reveal. It was a team effort. This whole monstrous transformation was a group project from hell, and he didn't even know he was participating. He's gonna get a failing grade in maintaining a coherent self. Evil Me even has the audacity to act humble, admitting he couldn't have become this ludicrously overpowered without a little help from his other, more pathetic self. It's the world's worst motivational speech. And now for the big face reveal, or the unhooding. He offers to help him remember a phrase that in this context definitely involved psychological trauma and probably a few punches to the head. And whatever he remembers is not good. That is the face of a man who just recalled a deeply repressed, profoundly horrifying memory. Or maybe he just remembered his browser history. Could go either way. Suddenly he's got a blue upgrade and a whole new attitude. He's not screaming anymore. He's asking the questions, and that chilling smile suggests you do not want to get them wrong. Oh, that guy. He finally remembers the giant holographic space monster that started this whole mess. You know, you never forget your first cosmic horror parasite. And with that memory of his eldritch sugar daddy comes a terrifying amount of calm acceptance. Check out the new Tron tattoos. Very chic, very my body is now a living computer. And the space ghost monologue begins. Everything cool about you? Your power's your ability to not stay dead? Yeah, that was all me. So our hero is basically the universe's first cosmic Nepo baby. Just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, a new challenger enters the arena. She's got blue hair, a traffic sign, she's wielding as a weapon, and an immediate desire to get along nicely. Something tells me her definition of nice involves a lot of property damage and grievous bodily harm.